With wireless gaming becoming more and more popular these days, having a good wireless headset is essential for your long gaming sessions and to have a great audio quality. Razer is not new to the wireless gaming scene with their previous Manowar and also Thresher headsets delivering a good sound quality and comfort, but that was not good enough. Well, now after some time, Razer has released their new top-of-the-range wireless gaming headset range, the Nari, and these ones are really nice. So for today's video, Razer sent over the Nari for me to take a look at, which falls into the middle of the three available Nari headsets. You do get the Nari Essential, which is the more basic non-flashy version with a downgraded driver compared to the other two, which is going for around $100. Then you get the Nari with a better driver, onboard audio controls and RGB, which is going for around 2,600 Rand on Rebeltech here in South Africa, or $150. Then lastly, the big one, the Nari Ultimate, which is pretty much the same as the Nari, but it does have Razer's new Hyper Sense, which adds haptic feedback to your audio so you can actually feel the sound. Now, unfortunately, I don't have these, so I can't really say exactly how they feel, but they are going for around $200. But now, with all of that being said, let's jump into our review of Razer's new Nari headset right after this. But just before that, if you guys are in the market for a new NVIDIA RTX or graphics card, whether it's a 2080 Ti, a 2080 or the new 2070 graphics cards, Rebeltech has you covered from also all of your favorite brands, whether it's a Gigabyte, MSI or a ASUS. So definitely check out Rebeltech to get your new RTX graphics card now. Now, straight away, you will notice that these are really big headsets. They're perfect for normal home use, but if you want to take them outside, you are gonna look a bit weird, kind of like an astronaut or something, so home use is going to be perfect. But even being this big, they're not overly heavy. They are weighing around 420 grams, which is around 120 grams more than my HyperX Clouds, but being such a large headset, wireless headset even, I can understand that. Now, as for the headband, which has to handle all of that weight, it does kind of resemble the Thresher's freeform headband with its aluminium frame that does add durability for drops and able to bend and twist the frame, which the Manowar didn't really have. The freeform headband does also do a great job of spreading the weight evenly over your head and still being nice and soft. Also, the headband's clamping force was not bad at all, making a proper seal around your ear without really applying too much pressure. But with the headband being that free form, you can't really adjust the height of the ear cups. There's also not enough really clamping force, and because the headset is so large and heavy, it did cause the headset to sag lower on your ears after some time of use, and also made the headset very easy to fall off. Now, even though they were a bit too loose and easy to fall off, they were still one of the most comfortable gaming headsets that I have used. Even after more than 5 hours of gaming, they were just completely fine. Now, as for the ear cups, they are made from a plastic and is able to swivel more than 90 degrees and tilt around 15 degrees. This does allow you to rest them comfortably on your neck and still be able to move your head freely around without really any obstructions. And if you want to listen to music like that, you can, because they are plenty loud enough, so you can just walk around in your house and you'll still be able to hear all of your music. As for the padding, the Nari uses a thick and a large leatherite and cloth foam pads, which is coated in a cooling gel layer that does help keep the cushions cooler, not really cold at all, but so that it doesn't really sweat that much in a hot like African summer, which does get quite a bit toasty. Also, being so thick, my ears never scratched against the inside of the drivers, which made it more than 10 times comfortable than most other gaming headsets to me. Now, moving on, you do get some onboard controls and adjustments on the ear cups themselves. On the right ear cup, you get the volume wheel and the wireless 2.4 GHz USB receiver. Then on the left ear cup, you do get the mic mute button, your game and a chat balance wheel, the power button, the micro USB charging port, and finally a 3.5mm jack. So you can use the Nari in a wired mode with either your mobile phone or some of your other devices, or just even if the battery died on you. Now for the volume wheel, when you do scroll it all the way down, it doesn't mute the audio completely, it just lowers it to a very low volume. For that, you will either have to also lower the chat and game balance wheel on the left ear cup all the way down, or just mute it on your keyboard or on Windows, which is a bit dumb in my opinion. But now getting into how these wireless Nari headset sound, and honestly, they really sounded good. Just like the Nari Ultimate, it uses a 50mm driver with a neodymium magnet that does deliver plenty of volume and a good frequency response. Of course, it's not meant for any high quality sound production or work, but for gaming and music, it was really good. It is a bit more bassy like most other Razer gaming headsets, and you can even take it a step further by adding the bass boost option in the software, which is honestly a bit too much in my opinion, but you do have that option if you want to bang out completely. But as for the mid and high range, they still come through clearly, just not as powerful as the bass. Now also a nice feature that the entire Nari range has is that they feature a THQ spatial audio that simulates surround sound and does actually do a really good job at that. But it's mostly up to you if you do like a virtual 7.1 in games. I personally do use it and it did work quite well, so you will be able to hear more sounds around you, whether it's like footsteps, gunfire, or just somebody sneaking up on you. As for sound bleed and sound isolation, they do actually do a pretty good job. Now, people will be able to hear what you are listening to, especially if you do crank up the volume, but they will have to be quite close. And for sound isolation, they were also really good. Most likely, you would not hear your mom or your wife yelling at you to take out the trash when you're gaming, so it does get the job done. Now, being a wireless gaming headset, it does sound really good in wireless mode, perfect for all of your gaming, watching movies and music and all of that. But when using it in wired mode, it did sound kind of a bit fuller compared to wireless. That is most likely due to a bit of compression involved over Wi-Fi, but it is still very good, and also with the connection range being around 12 meters, just depending on the walls between, they do sound really good, and the wireless range is also going to be fine. Like I was able to go outside of my room with a double thick brick wall between, and it was still sounding good and still picking up. You will just have to make sure that the receiver is not hidden like behind your PC, because then the wireless connection will drop easier, so just make sure that it is more visible. Now, battery life is also important because it's wireless, so I was able to get around 2 days of heavy use with the lighting turned off, but you will be able to get around 1 full day of heavy use with the RGB lighting turned on. But honestly, just turn it off, you're not really gonna see it, and if you want to display it, then of course you can turn it on. Now then, getting into the microphone, just like most other Razer headsets, you get a retractable, bendable mic, which is really nice. You can neatly put it away and not look like a weirdo with this thing on your head. Also, you can mute the microphone. So I can say as much mean things about all of my viewers as I would want, and you guys would never know I said it. So yeah, you can mute it, unmute it very easily, and you'll also get the red ring around the front of the microphone.
Now, currently, as you guys can hear, this is what the microphone sounds like. You do have some other settings inside the software you can apply as well. Currently, everything is just off or just on medium. So you can either set your side tone so you can hear what you actually sound like, which is always good for when you're in game, as you don't scream or go crazy. You'd also get sound normalization. You get your voice clarity and then also ambient noise reduction, but you want to play with those only a tiny bit, because if you do it a bit too overpowering, then this is with a voice clarity on 100%. So it's going to sound weird on 50%, so it's still not going to be the best sounding. And then ambient noise reduction on 50, so you will notice that there's going to be a lot of compression involved and it's not going to sound as clear. So you want to play with this only a tiny bit, and also depending on the background noise and everything. Currently, I have my fans on my PC full blast, and most likely you guys can't really hear what it sounds like.
And then finally, for the software, you will need to go download Razer's Synapse 3 program, which is currently still in beta version. So there is some problems still involved that I personally have experienced as well, with the lighting just turning off randomly and then going on again after a few seconds. So there's still some problems involved. But in the software, you can select which application should use the standard stereo surround or use a THQ to enhance your 7.1. You can also enhance the sound with a bass boost using sound normalization and then also incoming voice clarity. You're also able to apply any EQ, adjust the microphone settings, and then lighting wise, you can select between spectrum cycle, static, and breathing. Also, just like most other Razer Chroma products, you can sync them up all together to get a cool in-sync lighting effect, and you can even link them with your Philips Hue products. Now, unfortunately, the software does not show battery percentage. Instead, it just kind of shows like levels, and then the headset beeps to let you know that the battery is getting lower. You are able to adjust the automatic shutdown time between like 15 to 60 minutes if you want to save some more of your battery life. Then also, just for all of you console gamers out there, the Nari does work wirelessly with the PlayStation 4, but for Xbox and the other ones, you will need to use it in wired mode or either use adapters, but some of the features will be disabled. So now finally, in a conclusion, after using the Nari headset for a few weeks, what do I think of it? Well, honestly, it's not perfect, but it is still really good. Sound quality, comfort, and build quality was all on a point, and I enjoyed every minute using it with all of my gaming and then also just listening to music. But it is not perfect. Like I mentioned before, the freeform headband is a bit of an issue if you do have a smaller head. It would have been nice if they could have added a tiny bit of adjustments. It would have made it just that much better. As for the loose sit, I'm honestly not sure how they really could make it better, because if they tighten it up, it can impact the comfort, and again, it's really comfortable, so I don't really want that. So you might just have to be a bit more careful for not just swinging your head around, and if you play horror games and you scare easily, it might not be the best headset, because yeah, it's just gonna fly there and it won't break, but yeah, you don't really want that to happen. But no, that's pretty much it for my review of the Nari headset. Again, you do get the Nari Essential, which is more of the affordable basic version, and then the Nari Ultimate, which does have that hyper sense haptic feedback effect, which a lot of people say that it does sound nice. It is a bit more of a gimmick, but gimmicks are nice to have, so you can go for that one as well. But I think this is more gonna be the best seller almost. So if you guys want to get the Nari for yourself, definitely check out the links in the video description, where you can get it on Rebeltech if you live in South Africa, or Amazon if you live overseas. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, and comment like always. And then I will check all of you next time. Cheers, guys.